everyone, it's WHM Bricks back with another video, and today we have an episode of building Endor. So we have, I believe, week 5 or 4. I'm not exactly sure. Honestly, it's been forever since we've done one of these updates, and that's really just been because I haven't had the parts. I haven't really had a lot of time on hand. So I've just been kind of slowly building. So I have a lot of progress for you guys in this week. We got a lot done, and I'm really happy with what we complete. And then on top of that, I will be getting some a haul in, and some more pieces for the trees. So that should be really fun, and I hope you guys enjoy this update. Do a ton of terrain work and that kind of stuff. But if you are excited for this week's update, don't forget to hit that like button down below. Subscribe if you're new to the channel, as most of you who watch my videos are not subscribed, and I hope you enjoy it. Okay, so now that we're finally back, we have some new parts to get in. This is a seller I bought from recently. And so we just got a bunch of parts to go through, so I'm just going to pull it out. I haven't really looked at these in a while, so let's see what we have. So I guess the first thing is a ridiculous amount, like 90 of these 4x6s. Those are just going to be for the train, and I'm going to really try to finish that off as much as I can this week. And then we've got a bunch more other stuff. This is kind of interesting packaging. I've never seen anyone do this before. I mean, I've seen other YouTubers show, but I've never gotten a package with it. This way, they like sealed it, which is kind of strange. And then like they put like one of these, and like it looks like it maybe got a little bit weird, but I don't know. Basically, it looks pretty good. So we've got these. I will talk about this in a minute. These tiles and then these clips are going to be for some rebuilding on the roof of the bunker. If you remember, these will be just for these. All these brown pieces in here are just going to be for some more brown, like, you know, just greebling on the ground, like just making like some brown spots. Right now it's looking really good where there are some. And then in here we just got a bunch of random parts that are just things that I've been needing for different builds that I'm doing, or different things I'm building back, or whatever. But that's pretty much it from this haul. It's pretty small, but this is like really why I bought this, is because 90 of these is going to put me so close to finishing this. And so that's actually, I'm really happy about that. So I'm going to take these out of their bag. Get some into some bins. I don't think I'll do a time lapse because it's not really sorting. And then we'll get into a time lapse of me putting all these down here. And we'll see how it goes. Alright, so my microphone cut out again, so I don't have microphone footage for this, but basically, this is really what I was able to get done after that time lapse. You did see a little bit of it, but basically right here, I was able to tile off and finish off that whole top section of the bunker, and it looks really, really, really nice. I'm really happy with the way it looks. And all the details just add a lot to it. I did order too many of those 1x1 clips, but that's fine. They're super useful when it comes to this kind of thing. Honestly, it's just kind of all over the place, and I really like that, along with the 2 shield generator kind of things on top. It just all fits together and feels like what would be on top of a bunker or something like that. And it's just tons of random parts. It's not something that has to be anything fancy, and it just looks really, really good. As you can see there, the roof can still be removed without any difficulties, but other than that, it works very well. The tiles is a little bit raised up on the second half, which is a little bit annoying, but it is fine. It is the way it is. And then moving here, we have all the progress. This is like, I got so much done with the parts I had. I destroyed a bunch of Fenway, so I had a ton of 8x8s, and then all those 4x6s that I got from Bricklink, I was able to put into this, and it just looks so good to finally have it finished off. As you can see, it's so like brick, 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 brick. It's not, there's no terrain, it's just up, up, up. It's too even, and I'll be fixing that later. But right now, that's just like, I'm just trying to get the basic structure down because it looks really good. And then we'll add tons of like 1x1 plates and all kinds of stuff to basically cover or make the train a little bit more interesting and less of just a square. I've already kind of started to do that right here, where I have added some plates that just jut out over the brown section there, and then in the back there also needs to be a little bit of work done, just because it needs to be built up a little bit more, and it's kind of weird the way it's set up. So that'll be fixed up as well. If you guys have been wondering about that, and so that's my answer. And then also with all the brown parts in the middle, I will be using those more and adding more brown patches off to the sides and different places. And you can also see I kind of started to do that by creating these little sections that come out on either side. But overall, it looks really, really good. I'm really happy with the way this is turning out. And it looks really nice, and it feels really nice to get all of that filler brick covered up because it finishes off the MOC so much. If you guys haven't built a large-scale MOC like this, you don't really know the experience. But if you have, you can relate. Once you get all the filler brick just covered up, it feels like you've gone a mile in a minute, and it's really, really nice to get that done. Also, getting the bunker finished off is really nice too. And also, one last thing to note, all the foliage will be redone and removed at some point later in this video. So, now let's jump into some more building. Okay, so after we get some building done, I have a little bit of progress to update you guys on. So first of all, you may notice the train is a lot more dynamic, kind of all over the place. So what basically me and my brother did was we added just tons of 1x plates, basically, or 2x's or whatever, and made the terrain just kind of way less even and smooth. And I think it looks a lot better now. It kind of gives the more all over the place effect that we want to get here, which is nice. And overall, it just gives the whole MOC a nicer feel. It is definitely very different than what we see up there. I mean, right here it is just a little bit more steeper, so this will definitely get some treatment on what we need to do with it. Over here, it's definitely a little bit more like this. It's just still it's less of the plate and more of the brick in that way. But that's just because it's more of a steeper slope, so I think it does transition nicely into it. The other difference is there really isn't any angled plates in this area, and there's a lot in this area. That's really just because I don't really have any for this newer section of the MOC, which is disappointing, but it is what it is. So as you can basically see here, I don't know if I talked about this earlier, but I'll just restate it if I did. All these clips around the edge, you can see them basically kind of dispersed. Those will be where all the trees are. I have a prototype for those, and I may be able to get that in the end of this video. I'm waiting on parts for the final base of the tree. And so if those come within enough time, then we can get those. There's some of those built up for this video, and then maybe some for the other. If they don't, then they will have to wait for next week. But as you can see Here, we definitely added in some extra plates in the middle here, so they kind of intrude on the brown section, which I think looks really nice. And also gives it kind of like this almost cross effect that you get from like over here, and then it comes across and like kind of just comes out at each corner. Um, which I think looks really, really nice, and I really like that. I think once we add foliage right along the edge, like we have right here, it's gonna look really nice and like really complete. We're gonna have one path probably coming like up here, and then just kind of coming up, and then it'll like maybe disperse into a little bit more of a clearing here, just behind this tree. That will be where like Luke and or no Han and Leia survey the storm, the scout troopers that are standing right about where those scout troopers are. Technically, I think there was more of like a chasm right here, but that isn't going to be included in this mock just because I wanted to get like kind of feel of the like whole like hill around it. But it's also hard to tell. Only reason that it makes me think that is because the speeders would technically take off and go this way, and it really wouldn't make sense for them to like go up this side of the hill. But I don't know. It could be anything, so it really is. It is as accurate as I can make it because there's not a lot of scenes that show this way. We see a lot of scenes going that way, and so it's hard to tell what it looks like. If you are wondering about this top section up here and how it's kind of just like flat and not a lot of detail, that's really not going to change, but it will look fine once we have the foliage up there, just because there's no reason to make it more dynamic like it is here, because once you get the foliage, it looks a lot more dynamic, whereas here you just don't want the like steps because you can just kind of see into the foliage the same way. So out here it's a little bit different. And then so what we're gonna do next is I will see if I can get some more progress done, maybe a little bit more like adding some more brown patches, or I'm also going to test out those doors and see if they actually still work. If they do, I'll show you a little bit of that. And then if the trees come in the next couple of days, we'll do a short video unpacking those packages and doing that kind of thing. Okay. So we have some parts that we just got in, and so this is going to be haul 1, and then once I finish with this haul, I'll jump into the haul 2, and we'll talk about that one more in depth. Both these hauls are going to be for the trees. As you can see, we've got a ridiculous amount of brown plate. I think there's like over 100 of these, maybe 150, and then there's about 100 of these, which is really crazy. And these are for basically the base that's going to be about this tall of 3 of the tree, or of all the trees, which is going to be about 8 trees total of the big trees, and then we may throw in a couple smaller ones, but those won't come until later with the foliage. So that's what these brown plates are. Those are for the exterior of the trees. And then right here we have just some 1x1 tiles. Those are just to clean up the terrain a bit, and then they'll also be useful for the like getting the trees to look a little bit nicer. And then here we have a good amount of the hinge pieces that we're going to use to make the trees rounded. And that isn't all of it. We're going to get more in that second haul. The rest of them will be in the second haul. We have a lot of those, like 190 or something. And then we have some of these headlight bricks. They're just 1x2 headlight bricks. These are very few. We're going to get, I believe, like 400, basically 400 in total of these, which is crazy. I already have some on hand, but the other haul will have even more of those. And then these are 1x6s. Again, this is just filler brick. All of these are just filler brick. Basically, they're gonna go inside the trees and you won't see them. So I just got some lavender because they were cheap, and they will be used just to hold the tree together. So basically, of these parts, this part here, and then these, I already have a little bit of a collection of stuff I'm going to be using for those. And so let's cut to that now. Okay, so this is the collection I have right now. As you can see right here, I've got 85 of these headlight bricks. So this is probably about like 20 or so that we're going to add on. And then we'll get a ton more in the other haul. And then we've got about 110 of these 1x2 bricks. We'll get those in the other haul as well. And then these are my 1x2 plates. I've got 400 of those, so we won't be getting any more of these. These are all left over from Fenway, so those are super useful, and I'm really happy. And then here we have 14 of these hinge bricks, and so these will add to that total. I'm not sure how much, I haven't counted. So that's what we're going to do next, is I'm going to put these into their bins, and then we're going to go to haul 2. Okay, so that's just about going to wrap up this week of building Endor. I hope you guys all enjoyed this episode. I had a lot of fun. We got so much done on the train. I'm really happy with where it's at now. It's just at that final stage where I want it to be when it comes to putting down foliage. Like, that's really the next step. It's just to cover the entire thing with foliage. We really don't have that far to go. We just got to get those trees done, the foliage done, and then minifigures sourced. Because I don't have stormtroopers, that many stormtroopers, so I'm going to have to figure out a way to get those. But we'll figure it out. So basically what I was talking about earlier with the haul number 2. Haul number 2 didn't show up. It's probably not going to show up for another couple days. So that'll be in week 2. So the whole trees and stuff, that'll be in the next week. I believe that's like week 5 or 6. I'm not exactly sure. But we will see, because what happened was I thought they were going to arrive, and then I was just going to do it in this video, and then we do the trees and all that stuff in next week's. But now we're just going to get that other haul and add it to this one. So if you guys were excited about that, don't forget to subscribe down below if you haven't already, so you don't miss the next update when I actually do build those trees. And then also just a quick update, those will not be like the full trees. This will just be part of them, because the top part is going to be different with all the foliage. This is just going to be the main base. So if you guys are excited for any more updates like this, or love anything related to LEGO Star Wars, don't forget to hit that like button down below. Subscribe if you're new to the channel. And this is WHM Brick Bros signing out.